Ask the Expert, brought to you by Nelligan Law.
So we are continuing with our Ask the Expert segment, and here's the contact information for Nelligan Law. Their phone number, 613-238-8080. You can also email them if you have any questions from today's segment or continuing to move forward. info@nelliganlaw.ca. Their website is up there. They are located at 50 O'Connor Street, Suite 300. Frances Shapiro-Munn joins us. She's a personal injury lawyer with Nelligan Law, and we've been talking about the roads are getting busier than ever. We've got cyclists, we've got pedestrians, and we have a lot of cars out on the roads and so much construction. And we're getting into that point right now where, you know, we've had summer kind of push into fall a little bit, right? So we're not really thinking too much about the snowfall and the ice, but as we get to those kind of more slippery months, we should really start preparing for something that could happen and try to mitigate that as much as possible.
Yep, yeah, absolutely we should. Yep, get on your winter tires, please.
Yeah, winter tires, like the all seasons, like winter tires, especially here in the capital, you know, we get all that ice buildup and the snowfall buildup too. Before we kind of get into those months, I know there's a lot of kind of misunderstandings when it comes to people that they have after their crash happens. And we were talking earlier before the break about what you should do. So let's just do a refresher on what are a step-by-step guide for what you should do. And then we'll talk about some misunderstandings that people have after a crash.
Okay, so what you should do, police, paramedics, survey the scene, photos, get witnesses.
Okay, and then what are some things that people might think of, or I'm sure you see on a day-to-day basis or throughout the year, of what they think that they might know, but the law says something very differently?
Yep, so I have 3 myths I'd like to cover. The first myth is, I was partly at fault for the accident, therefore I can't claim anything. Okay, that's wrong. First, you can always claim no-fault benefits from your accident benefit insurer. Everybody has those in Ontario. Everybody, it gives you some coverage for medical care, perhaps some income replacement coverage as well. The second thing is, in Ontario, we don't just ascribe fault on a 100% basis. Often in an accident, more than one person can be at fault, okay? So let's say there's a crash between a car and a cyclist, and a court decides, well, the car was 75% at fault, but the cyclist was 25% at fault. Well, what does that mean? It means that your damages are reduced by your level of fault. So if you're the driver, you still have a claim for the 25% you're not at fault. To put it simply, okay, if you're awarded $1 million for your damages, you still get 25% of that, $250,000. So it can still be worth it.
And again, and you know, that goes back to your first point of get the photos, get the witness statements,
right.
Call the police, so you have all that. So let's say someone comes to you with this case, you have a step-by-step detailed timestamp of all the things that happened with the witnesses, which can really help you in the future because, and I love what we talked about before, was let's say you feel okay in the accident the next day, but you do have maybe a brain injury or a head injury, but you don't start feeling that effects till later on, which starts affecting your work. So we want to try to avoid that with some steps.
Yeah, and that brings me to the second myth I want to address, which is I'm not that badly injured, so I don't need to go see a doctor. Okay, and you're absolutely right, all right? In the moments after an accident, you've got adrenaline coursing through you. You've gone through something that's really put you heightened. You might not feel injured. And you might think to yourself, I'm just going to give this a few days or weeks and see if it passes. Please don't. Please go see medical, get medical help as soon as you can. First, it creates a record. And secondly, you might not be as okay as you think you are. I see a lot of head injuries in what I do. And oftentimes these are people who think that they're okay or that they will be okay, but then they come to see me months or even sometimes a year down the road and they're not okay. And they haven't built up the medical record that we need to prove their case.
It's so amazing. I think it's really important that people understand not just their rights, but the laws, and then how to pre-plan the crash before it even happens, just so you can be in a better spot. Frances, we really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to get in touch with Nelligan Law on today's topic or potentially some topics in the future, here's their contact information. You can call them at 613-238-8080, or you can email them at info@nelliganlaw.ca. They're located on 50 O'Connor Street, Suite 300. We had Frances joining us. She's a personal injury lawyer from Nelligan Law this morning.